I was down at 4th Street, and I was with. It was like the show had just let out, the Late Show. So we were driving. We were about to leave to go home. I think I walked outside with H. Foley and Brendan
Yeah, you
Sagalow.
stand out, try to soak up adulation, get a few followers.
Yeah, well, this was a particularly like rowdy show, so we were all right to like get the fuck away from them. But there is a bar above New York Comedy Club, and these people came pouring out to like smoke cigarettes or whatever, and they just saw us walking out. The guy walks up to me, hammered, and he just goes, because I was like, all right, man, I'll meet you in the car, and then he came right up to me, and goes, "You're drinking and driving too?" And I go, no, we were working there, and he goes, it's the best, isn't it? He goes, there's not even any checks. There's no road checks anywhere in New York City. They can't. It's caused too much traffic. And then I was like, no, they've definitely had stops before. And he goes, really? Where? And I go, I've seen them on 2nd Ave. And he's like, all right, I'll take the back streets. He goes, where bar are you going?
The back streets of New York.
Oh, my God.
I'll take First Ave.
But They'll
never suspect me.
I've never seen someone with so much confidence walk up and be like, illegal, talking about it like a felony, like to a stranger.
Oh, buddy, then you didn't drink in Nyack, New York in the mid-aughts. Because that is literally every single person. They pour out a black bear with fucking blood on their knuckles from fistfighting a bouncer, and they just get behind the wheel of their Civic and drive up Main Street and hope not to kill someone.
To be fair, if you get pulled over for drunk driving in New York City, you've got to be really bad.
Yes.
Because they let anybody go.
And there's no lanes.
No.
And you stop every 2 seconds. You're never going fast
There's
enough
so many
for it to be
lights.
dangerous. Yeah.
And everybody's swerving.
Dude.
People are already swerving.
All right, drunk driving story in New York that I forgot about until this second. I don't know when it was.
So it was 10 years and 1 day ago.
It was for sure.
10 years
it was
and
over
1 day
10.
ago.
It was over 10 years ago because it was in like
Wow.
07,
That's right,
08,
Mike. Now we're learning.
2014, whatever. But 07, I think. Over 10 years ago. So, yeah, we were hanging out
When
in
was
the
this?
city. It was New York City.
Okay.
You ever get hit? Like, it was with me and Tim from past podcasts. We've told so many drunk driving stories at this point. Pick us up. Arrest us. So you ever get that? It was still dark out, but it was like 4 a.m. and we were going to drive back to Rockland County. And it's that moment where you're like going up First Ave, the back streets, and you just see a mile of green lights, and you're like, I am Vin Diesel in this moment. I'm going to torque the chassis off the line and see if I can hit 400.
So if you get on 2 wheels?
Dude, I mean, I must have gotten up to like 100 miles per hour.
Oh my God.
It was so fast, and I was like, after a minute, I was like, oh, this is how people die. I just like slammed on the brakes. Another, definitely not a fucking slow down. That you should properly take the speed down. But yeah, jam in the middle of the brakes, probably almost
Right
killed
in the
6
intersection.
dogs. Yeah, it was just ridiculous. Like I'd taken so many goddamn chances like that of being drunk and seeing green lights and being like, this is an omen.
The lights are talking to you.
What everybody thinks. There was a guy actually at we got married up in the Catskills, and there was a dude like the weekend after who I think was a cop, and he got married, like 2 hours later, took the Dodge Charger that he got to rent for his big day, drunk drove it around these like small, narrow streets in the Catskills and killed himself.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law. Dead.
Well, we were at a wedding, his friend's wedding, and we were driving home, and then this very obnoxious couple,
God.
they left right before us, and then they just like
Right
went
into
a
the
pond.
ditch. And it was like raining, so it was flooded.
Oh my!
It would just look. It was the car was up to the top with water.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we really didn't like those people. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, no, that makes sense. And then,
They were asses to us on the way out.
Yeah.
And she was squatting in the front yard of the wedding, peeing.
at the wedding.
On the lawn.
Classy dame.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, no, that checks out.
Yeah, you're like, I hope you made it out. Oh, they're great at
Do you know what happened to the car? It was
Well,
So they were fighting, like screaming at each other, and we separated them. And unfortunately, we got the wife, and she was ungrateful. She was so mean. It was insane. And then she was like yelling at the people.
She started smoking in the van.
Yeah.
This woman's van with her 2 kids' car seats in the back, and she just starts smoking. And she's like, I've had a stressful night. She's like, don't smoke in my car.
I'm surprised the cigarettes weren't wet.
Yeah. It's just her outside.
Yeah.
Just,
She's holding her breath to keep it. She's not having her head up.
Dude, that fucking sucks.
Oh, yeah.
To put your car underwater.
Yeah.
That happened to my sister's friend, too. In a place where you wouldn't believe it could, like, you could gain that much speed.
Yeah.
So it's a fenced-in reservoir I think it's near Park Ridge, New Jersey. And she was driving this area, and she just took the turn, which, like, looks impossible, at, like, 60, and drove, like, almost turned fully around in a 180, took the turn, and drove straight through a fence and into the reservoir.
Oh my God.
Yeah. At like 3 a.m., swam out, ditched the car. Like they found it like a couple days later.
Oh my God.
Swimming? Imagine, like, knowing they're okay, but how funny it would be to see someone swimming away from their sinking car. Just the thought of them being like, oh shit. Like, just the
With
level.
a lit cigarette.
The level of
water.
Holding the one pack.
the level of shit that they're in and how ruined their next few months are.
Oh my God.
That's like the
Just tabulating lawyer fees, damage to the car,
like
town expense.
where's my phone wet? You know?
Yeah, not to mention the $1,000 to replace
Yeah.
the phone.
but she got the cigarettes. They're very expensive.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. $14 a
My
pack.
dad, I guess my dad told me that when he was, I don't know, right when I was born or something like that, he ran out to the store in this old van that they had, and I guess it was just like a piece of shit van, and they were he was driving back, and there was a turn before you got onto my block, but it had no fence. It was just someone's corner property, and they had like a bush there, and my dad the brakes, like, just literally as he's going to turn, just don't work anymore. So he's like stomping on the brakes, and he explodes through the bush and into the fence. Like it just
wow.
blew. Yeah, it just didn't. It had to take all that to break the fall. But he almost went into the guy's living room. He almost went Kool-Aid style. He like cut the car.
Oh my
It's
God.
like Talladega Nights when he just drives.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, that's frightening. Just driving in, like, I had a 92 Maxima, like champagne colored. It was like, I think that was my first car. And I used to rip that thing around. It had like bald tires and was just barely safe for the road.
Sure.
And I remember driving to my girlfriend's house, her parents' house, and she lived right near the cemetery. And while making the right, the cemetery is right straight ahead, and there's like a little bit of a guardrail. And it was so slippery, but I just didn't think anything of it. I was like whipping the car, and instead my car just went straight on sideways tires. And I screamed in such a high register and just dinked. Like, literally, like, and just clink. And I was so embarrassed by my own scream and my own overreaction and my inability to drive in the rain that I, like, moved it into reverse and, like, drove past my girlfriend's house, like, 3 times. I was
Just
like,
to get your heart rate down?
you gotta get it fucking together. You can't show her this version of yourself.
Thank God all the witnesses were dead.
Oh my God. Yeah.
My dad one time he was drunk. This is way before I was born. He's driving. He goes home. He crashes through his neighbor's fence and turns around and goes through the other fence instead of reverse. Goes in the garage, shuts the garage with all the fence on the car.
Yeah, just
still.
leading direct like a crumb trail back to the fucking crime.
Yeah.
That's when you want to